it's like 70% and 9 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I have been reticent to go bust on him only because of the fact that, I think we need to give these guys a little bit of time to develop. And in fact, I do remember Peyton Manning having a 3-win season, throwing 58% completion, throwing more interceptions than touchdowns in his very first season in the NFL as well. So I don't want to go there. Outside of these numbers, so you're saying that everybody still feels they got a warm and fuzzy that they've got their quarterback regardless of these kind of numbers?
No question. And then Shad Khan, the one guy who matters, couldn't have said more glowing things about Trevor Lawrence when he spoke about him Monday on his yacht. And they are all in on Trevor Lawrence. They think he is a generational quarterback and is going to be fantastic in this league. And they look around the history of the NFL and they go, this is not uncommon. This is actually the path that most guys take, whether it's Matt Stafford or Peyton Manning or, even Ben Roethlisberger's first year, even though I think he made it to the AFC title game.
Well, he went 15-1. Yeah, Roethlisberger was 15-1. John Elway had a bad first year. Yeah, John Elway.
He was on a team. Mm-hmm. He was on a team that could run the ball and played great defense. So that helps. Helps any quarterback. Mac Jones is on a team that can run the ball and play great defense. So his numbers are going to be a little bit better. And John Elway, Troy Aikman, a lot of number one overall picks have struggled in year one and still gone on to have, really good careers. So I think they're looking at it that way, and they look at it and they go, look, the offensive line needs help. The receivers, we got to get better at receiver. And so those things, they got to be better around Trevor Lawrence for him to get better.
How attractive is it a job now going forward? They've got the quarterback in place, like you say, and that's always the key element. And what kind of coach do they have to draw? Because this needs to be a pro coach, an NFL coach. And I don't know who that guy is. If it's one of these, do you try and find a Sean McDermott or Sean, one of the young guys coming off of somebody else's staff? Or is there an established guy that's out there that would look good, on the sidelines in Jacksonville?
I think it's a very attractive job, especially if you're willing to clean house and let the next coach come in and work with a general manager maybe of his choosing or a guy he knows, kind of a package deal, so to speak. I'm not sure how attractive it is if you're going to keep everybody Urban Meyer hired in place or try to keep those guys in place. I'd have some questions about that. But when you look at it, listen, they're sitting number 2 in the league for a draft pick, so they're going to have another really high draft pick in a draft that's got some absolute stud defensive linemen coming out, and then you got $70 million in cap space, so you can go make a splash in free agency with some players. You've got a generational quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, so I think from that standpoint, you got an owner who's willing to spend money. So from that standpoint, I think it's a very attractive job. No state income tax is always a plus. The weather's always a plus. There are some pieces in place, not a lot, but there's a few. And let's not kid ourselves. This is not going to be some quick turnaround, but I think that, this can be a 2 or 3 year rebuild here, especially with the quarterback in place. And guys should be clamoring to come get this job right now.
I'm going to throw a name out at you because I know Alabama fans like to throw this guy's name out in every job that opens up, but 4 out of 6 seasons, 4 out of 5 seasons, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6. 5 out of 6 seasons in Houston, a winning record. 4 out of those 6 seasons goes to the playoffs. 1 losing record in his entire time there, Bill O'Brien. Now, he went south when he became the GM and the coach. That's when it went bad for him. But as just the coach his last couple of years there, he was 11-5, 10-6. They won the division 4 times in 6 years under him. Same division. What would you think about Bill O'Brien? Does he deserve a shot?
He should certainly be in the conversation. Here's the problem. Bill O'Brien, I just wonder if Bill O'Brien and Doug Marrone being best friends for a long, long time now, and they're kind of attached at the hip, I wonder if that's a deal breaker. That you're going back to that, that almost that Doug Marrone well that was not very good for you here. So I don't know. I mean, they certainly should consider it. I think Josh McDaniels would be a better hire. Go get a guy who's obviously got a track record with young quarterbacks and see if, Josh McDaniel would be willing to leave New England. He might be, coaching waiting there, and it's just not a known deal. So I don't know. I would have Bill O'Brien on my list. I don't know if he'd be at the top of my list, but he'd certainly be on my list.
But you feel like it's an attractive job. Now, there is a college coach that's got great experience with quarterbacks that does have a little experience in the NFL. I'm just saying, I'm just spitballing here now because this has to be, he's got to get this right. You think he calls Lane Kiffin at all? I'd say, hey, what do you think about coming back to the NFL? I'm just saying.
No. College coaches are out.
Okay.
You did that, done that, been there, done that, and it was a disaster. You're not going back that way. It will be interesting. When you look at Shad Khan's 10-year history, he let a long time, NFL front office guy make the first pick, Mike Mularkey. Then he went the opposite way with Gus Bradley, taking an unproven defensive coordinator, young and up-and-coming guy. Then he went with the crusty veteran in Doug Marrone. Now he's on with the college coach. So where do you go next? You've done it all. You've done the crusty NFL guy. You've done the college guy. You've done the young and up-and-comer. None of them worked. All of them were, equally disastrous in their own way. I don't know what he'll do next. It'll be interesting.
Well, you can't hire Ted Lasso. He's got to be he's got to be an actual coach. What about a guy like Eric Bieniemy? There's been a lot of talk about him over the years as to whether or not, he's ready now to take that next step. A lot of people think he's going to be very successful. I think it has to be an offensive guy.
Possibility.
Brian Daboll. There's another name out there. Brian Daboll, maybe. I don't know.
Sure. That would be a possibility. They're not going to, I would think Joe Cullen survives. He's been good enough with their defense this year in his first year as an NFL defense coordinator that I think you try to do everything you can to keep Joe Cullen and work around him and try to fix the offense at the same time. And listen, if Darrell Bevell crushes it these next 4 weeks, there'll be arguments are in place. If they can show that, hey, Urban Meyer was the issue, and now all of a sudden in this 4-game window, we're going to make Trevor Lawrence look like he's a generational quarterback.
Yeah. All right. Interesting stuff there with Mark Long from the AP. Mark, your phone's breaking up a little bit, but I appreciate all of the input on it. It's going to be a very fascinating hire, that's for sure. And, this Urban Meyer experience is over for sure. Mark Long has been our guest. Mark, thank you.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Appreciate you.
So, so the question then becomes, Grizz, this is a guy that has a ridiculous winning percentage in college football, better than Nick Saban. This is the only guy not named Nick Saban that has won a national championship at 2 different places in college football. He's 57 years old. Is this it? He had said that he wasn't going to coach college anymore. He said he was done with college, but that was before he was on the street. Do you think this is it? Or do you think Herb still has another college job left in him?
I don't know. I don't think necessarily it would be it. I could see him going, I don't know, would he go to another top program or would he go somewhere smaller and try to, maybe stay out of the headlight a little, stay out of, out of all the spotlight and everything like that. So I don't know. It is Urban Meyer, so I really doubt it. Will he go back to broadcasting? Because I know he was doing the high noon and on Fox and stuff like that.
Is good for that. He almost has to go into hiding.
My thing is like how many more ads and how many more people want to give this guy another chance? What he's done. I get it. Like Florida was I get it. He won national titles and everything like that. But then you look at the backlash and every person that he recruited and just how bad that looked, and then go to Ohio State and then just leave, after you win another one. And then you kind of just fool around a little bit, kind of do the broadcasting thing, then get back into it again. And it's like you kind of treated it like the same way going into this NFL job when knowing that these guys are not going to be like college kids at all. They are
but here's the
divas.
thing.
They are divas. They're not going to listen to the coach.
But with NIL,
like that.
I don't know. See, one of the great things about Nick Saban has been his adaptability.
Yeah.
You know, Saban wanted to be rock'em sock'em defense, take a huddle and run the ball and throw play action and that. He changed with the times with that. Saban continues to resonate with the young players.
Yeah.
Saban survived transfer portals. He doesn't like that. He always says, is this how we want college football to look? Now he is living in the NIL era, and he has a quarterback that's making, over $1 million a year.
Right.
So the next thing is, but Urban Meyer hasn't been like that. He has been very, very rigid, even though he's, 13 years younger than Nick Saban. My question is, I don't know how Urban Meyer would handle NIL kids. If he were to go back to college and have to deal with his quarterback making $1.5 million, I don't know. And by the way, his salary at Jacksonville was $6.5 million. He would be he wouldn't even be top 10 in college anymore. I mean, the money in college is astronomical. And all the jobs are taken, at this point in time. All the big jobs are taken. So, who knows what the future holds for Urban Meyer. Who knows, would Notre Dame have been a different type of a job search or whatever, because that's what he always said was his dream job. The only place he'd coach other than once he left Ohio State was Notre Dame. But I don't know what the future holds for him. I know what the future holds for this show, though, a break. And then we come back with the final segment of our number 1, and we'll set you up for Beat the Big Dog and what caller you have to be to participate in that at the top of the hour. Right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
In today's real estate market, you need the right professionals to help make sure your home purchase is smooth and hassle-free. That's where Jacob Title comes in. Stan McDonald and the staff at Jacob Title cater to the realtor and clients who are looking for a top-flight closing experience. Jacob Title uses the latest and best technologies to ensure a safe and secure exchange of funds, and they pride themselves on great communication well before and during the real estate closing process. Jacob Title in Huntsville and Madison, and online at jacobtitle.com.
Touchdown, Boilermakers! Witness tomorrow's NFL stars this month at the TransPerfect Music City Bowl.
First down, handoff, tailback, right up the middle to the 30. He's out of 20, here. To the 10, crank up Rocky Top. Touchdown, right up the middle.
Don't miss a second as Tennessee and Purdue, two of college football's top programs, go head-to-head on Thursday, December 30th at 2 p.m. inside Nissan Stadium. For more information on this year's game, including ticket availability, visit MusicCityBowl.com. Presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. More cloud cover this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, but temperatures should still climb into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of isolated showers are going to be possible across northwest Alabama as we head into the later part of the afternoon and then early into the evening. The vast majority of us are going to stay dry. We're also going to be warm as we head into the overnight, temperatures only dropping into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers are going to be possible on Friday. Otherwise, once again, temperatures climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So weird, Grizz. Yeah, one of them serendipitous moments right there. So strange. I was just in the process of texting one of the professional anglers to book him for today's episode. For this week's episode of Bassmaster Radio. Brandon Cobb, a great professional angler out of North Carolina. So I was booking him for this week's show, and I do the recording usually Wednesday afternoons, but we had our meeting yesterday, so today I'm recording this afternoon for Bassmaster Radio. Yeah. Anyway, as I was texting him, you bumped me back, and you bumped me back with the theme music from Bassmaster Radio. And it was like, whoa. I mean, how often does that hit? It was like, whoa. Did you send Grumpy his tickets yet? Because he says he hadn't seen. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because I was still trying to figure that all out. We'll talk about that after the meeting or after the show.
All right.
So,
all right. Thought we had that.
Because I know I owe him.
Him and Keith are splitting the club. They agreed.
Okay.
They're splitting the club.
Who do I send the?
And Grumpy has two.
Who do I send the parking pass to?
Oh, the park. Yeah, send that to Grumpy.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
The parking pass in the club go to Grumpy and one to Keith.
I thought he had a girlfriend in Nashville or something, and he's all right.
No, yeah, that's where he's staying.
Oh, okay,
it's not where he still needs to park at the stadium. So then him and Keith, what I need to do is I need to share with Keith. I don't have any Keith's information. You got to give Keith Grumpy's phone number so the two of them can talk and get us out of this thing. But Grumpy, you also owe two in the lower bowl too, I guess. Yeah, because he had one on that deal. All right, I'll tell you what. Somebody else could be going to the Music City Bowl with great lower bowl tickets to the Tennessee-Purdue game on the 30th. All you got to do is beat me and beat the big dog, and it's become relatively easy to do. So be caller number 3 right now. Caller number 3 plays Beat the Big Dog, 256-5764-97.7 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Looking for a great deal? Well, I've got one for you. Thom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. And at Valley Equipment, if you rent after 3 on a Friday or on a Saturday morning, you're not due back until Monday morning. So basically, you're getting the entire weekend for the price of one day. And if you're in the service or are a vet, they'll knock another 10% off. Valley Equipment is locally owned and involved in our community through charities and even supporting local teams. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. Stay tuned for info on where that will be and when it will open.
If you need a car, McCurry Motors is ready to put you in a quality vehicle, and in-house financing is available. If you have a job, McCurry Motors will work with you even if you have a bankruptcy, divorce, or bad credit. Visit McCurrySaysYes.com. Every car comes with a warranty, and they report to the credit bureau. With 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens, call 256-230-0232, or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville. Call 256-713-0575.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, the tumultuous tenure of Urban Meyer has ended. 13 games into his first season as Jaguars coach. Owner Shad Khan making the decision to fire Meyer. Besides that 2-11 record in Jacksonville, there were a litany of controversies involving Meyer, from the hiring of a strength and conditioning coach accused of making racist remarks and bullying black players, to a report in which former kicker Josh Lambo alleged that Meyer kicked him in the leg before practice during the week of the final preseason game. Offensive coordinator Darrell Bevel named interim coach the rest of this season. For the latest on this story, tune into the 6 Eastern Sports Center on ESPN TV. Two of the NFL's best quarterbacks face off as Week 15 kicks off with a marquee matchup. Justin Herbert and the Chargers host Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Kansas City's won 6 straight, is up a game in the AFC West on Los Angeles.
It's Alabama, Cincinnati, Georgia, and Michigan in the Final Four.
No. Yes.
Listen to all the coverage and the games right here.
All right, place your bets. Place your bets.
On 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. My lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. At Woody Anderson Ford, they can do everything that you need done to get your vehicle serviced at Woody Anderson Ford. Tremendous body shop as well, by the way, at Woody Anderson Ford. They do all kinds of stuff down there as well. And don't forget the gold certified pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson Ford. And I know from which I speak. I mean, I'm not just I'm not just a customer. I'm just a customer. I bought 2 in the last 6 months. Got the 2019 F-150 and the 2019 Mustang convertible, and both of those are sitting out there in the driveway right now. And what a tremendous deal, and what great vehicles they are. And I highly recommend you going to WoodyAndersonFord.com if you're looking for a vehicle. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com, search their inventory there. That's where I found both my truck and the Mustang. And I just called down there. Brian Williams is my guy down there. And if I'm not talking to Bobby White, I just called down to Brian Williams and say, hey, hold that vehicle. I'm going to come take a look at it, buy it. All right? Boom. It was that easy. Woody Anderson Ford.
You know, there are rules to success, my friend. Rule number 1 is know what you know what you don't know, and know that I got to know everything you know as soon as you know it.
It's time for a little Beat the Big Dog. Johnny on a Cell is going to play. Man, we have not heard from Johnny on a Cell in a while. Just don't be a lemon now. We don't want you to be a lemon. I'm the lemon.
I'll say this without sounding a little rude, but you're a lemon.
Yeah, lemon. Lemon. By the way, our boy Judah Armin, he says Lou Holtz at the Jets. I said I don't know of another coach that was fired before the end of their very first season. Lou Holtz, he resigned with 3 games to go. And where did he take the job? Grizz, when Lou Holtz resigned, he did not get fired. He resigned. Where did Lou Holtz go when he resigned? He went to the Razorbacks. Where did Bobby Petrino go when he resigned? The Razorbacks. You quit your NFL job to go to, Big Suey. Yeah, so, but yeah, Lou Holtz had left on his one and done. But in terms of actually getting blown out. I
haven't seen anything since 2000.
Like, what happened in 2000?
I'm not saying, like, I've looked at the last 21 years, and I can't think of any coaches that, they made it at least the whole season. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Or they got fired 6 games in the next year or whatever. You know?
And I got a list in front of me that we'll throw out there after Beat the Big Dog, but Johnny on a Cell is in for Beat the Big Dog. Johnny, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's great to be an Alabama fan these days. Good recruiting day. Beat the Dogs in the game and got our 4th Heisman. So it's happy holidays, brother.
It is happy holidays, and it should continue at the very least through New Year's Eve, I would think. I'd be very, very surprised for them to get upended at that particular point in time. Now, national championship game, who would you rather see? Would you rather play Michigan or would you rather play Georgia again?
I think I'd rather beat Harbaugh, but I mean, I'm not. I won't be scared if the Dogs come back in. I mean, they unless they can't go fix their back end and they don't have their rusher, the pass rusher still, he can't come back from the rape charges. So, if Georgia can't pressure, without blitzing, and if they, and our guy picks up the blitz and does what he does again. I mean, I don't see an antidote for Georgia unless they decide they want to bench Bennett and go with a more dynamic quarterback. I mean, a game. I think what's changed in college football is the days of a game manager being able to win you a national championship are done. You've got to have a dynamic passer at the QB position. You got to play solid defense. You may not have to be an all-world defense. You got to play solid defense. But the game is won, I believe, now at the QB position. And Saban has obviously figured it out because he's got 3 guys in the NFL, and this one will be their next.
I'll say this about that. I think it's really tough to beat the same team twice in 6 weeks. I don't want any part of Georgia again. I think Michigan is infinitely more beatable. I don't want any part of Georgia again. Not scared or any of that kind of stuff, but don't want to see him again. Been there, done that. Go Wolverines. And because I don't think the Wolverines are nearly dynamic enough to handle. I think Alabama would beat them much more handily. Georgia still is dangerous, I believe, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, if Georgia's going to – I mean, my personal belief is if Bennett's going to be the QB against Michigan and those 2 guys are going to crash the ends on him, I don't know that Bennett's not going to throw another pick 6 or 2.
I don't know that he's going to play – I don't know that he's going to be the quarterback there. I think they may make the move.
They've been mighty mum on the subject, but
yeah. I would not be shocked.
If Bennett's the QB at Georgia, I still think Michigan can get home.
I would not be shocked if 18 came out of the tunnel. All right, I got all 6 NFL games. I didn't put any of the early bowl games in there. All 6 NFL games here for you. Do you want to pick first on the first game or the second game? And in each case, you will get an opinion from Chad. Say it again?
It's good. I'm one.
All right, you're going to go first on the first one?
Sure.
All right, so we're going to start tonight, Chad. Give them some advice. We're going to begin with tonight's game in L.A. It'll be a home game for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are minus 2.5, so the Chiefs are 2.5-point favorite. Chiefs minus 2.5 at the Chargers. What do you think, Grizz?
Ooh, I love the Chargers. I really love what they got going right now, and I've got that quarterback over there, Justin Herbert, in my fantasy league. So it's gonna be wild. I think the Chargers are playing really well. I think that division's really up for grabs between those two teams, and I'm gonna take the Chargers over the Chiefs.
He says the Chargers are playing really well. Of course, the Chiefs are on a winning
They're playing
streak.
really well, too, as well.
I mean,
yeah.
won like
their
5 or
defense
6.
is, surprisingly enough, their defense is playing really well,
They're
other
won
than
like
their
5
offense.
or 6 straight games, yeah. So what do you think, Johnny? He says Chargers.
If you're going to give me points and the home team, I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah, I am taking the home team here, but I'm on a losing streak, so I don't know. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'll take the 2.5 at home. Road teams on these Thursday night games. Chiefs are really playing well. It's not going to be about the crowd. It's just going to be about the short week and the travel and everything else. I don't think Chiefs are going to run the table the rest of the way. This is one they may lose, and they'll come out of this thing tied for the division lead. All right, this game I pick first in New England, by God, Patriots, number 1 seed in the AFC now, are getting 2.5 at the Colts. Am I reading that right? Let me just double-check that one, because I said getting 2.5. New England is getting 2.5 at the Colts. Yeah, that's exactly the way it is. I had to double check just to make sure. So I get 2.5 with the Patriots at the Colts. I'll keep riding old Maxter. They'll run it more. They'll throw it more than 3 times in the dome. I will take the Patriots. I will take the 2.5 points. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, no, I'm riding the Mac Jones train, and you're going to give them 2.5 at the Colts. The Colts are a beatable team, but they like to run the ball too. So, keep it. I mean, it will be. I think it's going to be a very close game. You're going to see a lot of Jonathan Taylor from the Colts. Their defense is playing really well. So I think I like Mac Jones here, and I like the little streak that's going on.
All right, what do you think, Johnny?
Well, of course, I'm taking Jones. I mean, you got Wentz on the other side. I've never been a Wentz believer. And, if you're giving me a defense like the Patriots point, I'll take the Patriots.
All right, Grizz, in the next one here, the Packers are 5.5-point favorites at Baltimore. What do you think about the Packers minus 5.5 at the Ravens? In a game which I have the quarterback Aaron Rodgers as I go against my son in fantasy football tonight or this week.
It's really hard to kind of bet on that game because I think I want to say Green Bay all the way, but is Lamar Jackson playing? What's going on over there? So I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay. They're playing hot. Aaron Rodgers is playing with a weird infected broken toe thing that he likes to share to everybody. So I like what's going on over there. They have a lot on offense. You can't really stop Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. So it's gonna be a lot for him.
All right, what do you think, Johnny?
Well, I'm taking the Packers.
I want the Packers to win this football game. The 5.5 is scary. I mean, I absolutely can see the Packers kicking a field goal and winning this game by 3 points. This is one of those motos. It's a master of the obvious. Everything seems to be going against them. I'm going to take the Ravens in the points. Just because of the 5.5 points is a lot of points. I'll take the Ravens in the points here. Pack to win, but not to cover. Now, speaking of moto, this next one, I'll pick first on this next one. This is nuts. The Browns were a 6.5-point favorite over the Raiders before all of the COVID guys went out. They don't have their head coach. They don't have Baker Mayfield. They don't have Austin Hooper. They don't have Jarvis Landry. They don't have 2 of their offensive linemen. They don't have their starting safety. I mean, they're decimated. 18 players and coaches on the COVID list. The Browns went from a 6.5-point favorite to a 1.5-point home dog Saturday afternoon. I'm I got the Cleveland Browns. I'm getting points here. They'll rally something. It's a moto. It's so obvious the other way. I think the Browns will end up still winning the game. What do you got, Chris?
Yeah, no, I'm going with the Browns here. I
tried to talk you out of it.
There's not. No, you can't talk me out of that. No way. I went against them last week. So,
Johnny, what do you think?
No, I'm taking the Raiders.
They're
healthy. The Browns aren't. I'll take the Raiders all day long.
We talked about last week how well those Raiders played, and they just got absolutely embarrassed by the Chiefs.
Yeah, they were healthy last week and got beat 48-7 or whatever the heck it was. We'll see if the Browns JV team can handle them. All right, next game, Grizz, you pick first. Titans at the Steelers. It's a pick 'em. Just pick a winner. Titans at the Steelers. What do you got?
I'm going Titans. I don't like the Steelers. Chase Claypool might not be there mentally. Ben Roethlisberger is on his way out. That team is very shaky on defense. So I'm going Titans here.
What do you think, Johnny on a cell?
Well, parts of me believes that Najee Harris is could still make a difference here, but I know that the Titans are getting healthier, getting back Julio and stuff last week, so I'm going to take the Titans, but not by any big conviction.
Yeah, well, that's why it's a pick 'em game. It's a tough game to pick. The Steelers are like roaches. You know what I mean? It's just hard. Right when you think that they're dead, they win these kind of games. The Titans have a great record at home against the Steelers. They're like 8-2 against the Steelers at home, and they never beat them in Pittsburgh. They just never win over there in Pittsburgh. Whatever it is. Ben Roethlisberger's on his last legs. They played terrible last week. They will come back with a great effort here this week at home. Titans are still very one-dimensional. I'm going to take the Steelers to upset the Titans. I hope it doesn't happen. I'm pulling hard for the Titans, but I will take the Steelers in that one to upset them. And then in this last one, huge game with playoff implications in the NFC. The by God Atlanta Falcons get 9.5 points at the 49ers. That's a huge line in the NFL. I think the Falcons could keep this game relatively close. I think the 49ers win the game by 4 to 7 points. But 9.5, I think the back door is open with that number. I will take Atlanta plus 9.5 at the 49ers. Go Dirty Birds. What say ye, Falcon fan?
My goodness, no respect. No respect for the Atlanta Falcons. No,
I took them. I just took them.
No, I'm talking about this.
The line.
Yeah, the line is ridiculous. Come on now. Yeah, no, I'm going Falcons here. I think they're playing really well. I think if they can stop that pass rush for the 49ers, Matt Ryan will be able to kind of pick apart the 49ers a little bit. So I think if they can get Cordell Patterson working more, him coming back slowly, they need Kyle Pitts to kind of show up a little bit. He hasn't shown up in the last 2 weeks. So, but you gotta watch out for those 49ers. They're playing really well. Deebo Samuel's playing running back because they just can't have a running back stay healthy in the last 2 to 3 years. Seems like now. So I'm going Falcons here.
All right, Johnny. Falcons get 9.5 at the 49ers.
Well, in order to beat the big dog, you got to go against the big dog. So I'm going to take the 49ers.
All right, so he's going to take the 49ers and my boy Jimmy Garoppolo. So in summation, we are both on the Chargers tonight, getting 2.5 at home. We both like the Pats getting 2.5 at the Colts. I have the Ravens. I can't even believe I'm saying that. I have the Ravens. I can't even say it. I have the Ravens getting 5.5 at home.
Lamar is questionable.
Yes. Yeah.
Day to day.
I think he's always questionable. But against the Packers, Johnny has the Packers. I have my Browns getting 1.5 at home now. It's flipped from 6.5. Johnny has the Raiders laying at 1.5 in Cleveland. I have the Steelers in a pick'em game against the Titans at home, and Johnny has the Titans, and I have the Falcons, and Johnny has the 49ers. I get 9.5 with the Falcons. So we're really, outside of the Chargers and Pats, we're on opposite sides of 4 of these games. So, Johnny, good luck with this, my friend, and, make sure you check in and see how you do this. Merry Christmas to you, too. What is Johnny on a cell going to do with Tennessee Purdue tickets? I mean, these are $200 tickets.
Yeah, you're talking about.
These are $200 a piece tickets, man.
Let's go to Nashville and
they'll be selling them. They'll be selling them.
Take a weekend in Nashville.
There you go. All right, let's get a break. When we return, time to talk to our good friend Steve Merrill from ProSportsInfo.com. We'll get his take on some of these games as well. And, look, you know that the Friday trifecta tomorrow is going to involve probably 4 of these games. So pay attention. Well, it won't involve the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the Chiefs and Chargers. Well, I wouldn't be able to hit the Chiefs and Chargers tomorrow. Knowing the result, the way I've been going, I would still not get it right. All right, we'll come back. Steve Merrill's next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
7.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The heavyweight title on the line at UFC 270 on January 22nd in Anaheim. Current title holder Francis Ngannou will face interim champion Cyril Gane. Both fighters at -110 in a pick'em. The first 2 games of Bowl season Friday, the Toledo Rockets a 10-point favorite over the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders in the Bahamas Bowl, and the Northern Illinois Huskies a 10.5-point underdog against the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers in the Cure Bowl. After that, 6 games on Saturday. NFL Thursday Night Football, the Chargers at home against the Chiefs tonight. Kansas City a 3-point favorite on the road. The Chiefs -165 money line. The Chargers +145. The over/under 52.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm Chris Haygood at Bob Wall.
Season is our chance to get together again. More often than not, those gatherings will be in the kitchen. Look for holiday savings on the best brands you already know and trust, like Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Maytag.
Santa's gonna need some help delivering those.
That's what we're here for.
Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman.
Bob Wallace Appliance.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
2 maids and a mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. 2 maids and a mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at 2maidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. 2 maids and a mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
In 2 years, you can have a career that makes sense for you. Skill up and earn a living working with your hands, or work on the front line of computer information systems and cybersecurity. Get a degree that lets your healing heart take care of people. Help design and manufacture the most advanced cars, machinery, or even aerospace components. In just 2 years, great careers are within your reach at Drake State Community and Technical College. Visit drakestate.edu to apply.
There are not many things as satisfying as going through an ordering checklist of specific options and features and then taking delivery of your dream truck or SUV. Hey, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we make it easy to custom order your new Ford today and get exactly what you want. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and see how easy it is. Not only is there no extra cost for the custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on a 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, Escape, and even Edge. With a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford, you get the colors, the features, and the options you want, and you'll be notified when it's built, shipped, and ready for delivery. It's most likely the second largest investment you'll ever make, so why settle? Get your dream car or truck with a custom factory order today.
and get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. More cloud cover this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, but temperatures should still climb into the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of isolated showers are going to be possible across northwest Alabama as we head into the later part of the afternoon and then early into the evening. The vast majority of us are going to stay dry. We're also going to be warm as we head into the overnight, temperatures only dropping into the mid and upper 50s. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers are going to be possible on Friday. Otherwise, once again, temperatures climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Bailey Equipment Rental. At Bailey Equipment Rental, they have everything that you need to get the job done right. Big or small, it doesn't matter. It's at Valley Equipment Rental. They are knowledgeable. They're not going to make you come in there and you say, look, I need one of those thingy-dooey hickeys that does this. That they're going to help you. All right? They're going to help you find the thingy-dooey hickey that you need. And they're going to help you, they're going to help you get it right. All right? They'll take care of you at Valley Equipment. Now, you need an excavator? Valley Equipment. You need a skid steer? Valley Equipment. You need a lift? Valley Equipment. All of that stuff is available at Valley Equipment. And don't forget their second location coming in the first quarter of 2022 with more equipment, bigger equipment, not just for contractors, for you, the homeowner, as well. All right, joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, guy that does a tremendous job, Steve Merrill, ProSportsInfo.com. Steve, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Tom, doing well.
We'll get into some of the NFL games here in a minute. I'm glad you're doing well because I am in a full crash and burn. This is what happens when you do this yourself. 2-10 the last 2 weeks. I'm all the way down to 46-44, which just goes to prove that if you're not paying close attention and using an expert, what ends up happening is everybody ends up close to 500. And the house is who makes the money, right? I mean, that's the bottom line is the house makes the money unless you're using a guy that is pouring over this stuff on a regular basis.
Well, a couple takeaways. I mean, first of all, it's the second year in a row that you've been stronger earlier in the season.
Yes.
But then again, the other takeaway is you don't want to overreact to, small samples. Maybe it's just random variance for 2 seasons, but maybe also, you have a better feel in the first couple of months. I know you feel pretty strong out of the gate. I'm more of a statistical guy, so I actually kind of like later this season where I have a lot of, common opponents stats to look at, but there's always different types of handicapping, and, maybe you are stronger the first couple months for that reason.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Second year in a row that I was cruising along, right. 67, 68%, like in 30 or 40 picks in. I mean, not like for 1 week, and now it's just the last several weeks it's been more and more difficult. I think it's harder to find, and I got guys like you. I don't pour over the numbers the way you do. I go basically by my gut for the most part. But I think the numbers get a lot sharper. I think that's the thing that kind of catches me. Plus, I use more NFL games as the season goes on. I think the NFL is a little tighter than college sometimes.
Yeah, there's no question that numbers get sharper, and that's exactly right. I mean, there's different types of handicapping. In September, the first month, especially of college football, it definitely is more of a matchup, a situational type handicap, and you can kind of look at which teams you think are better than others. But then come November and now, early December, that's all taken into account. All the statistics and stuff have caught up to that at that point. So you're exactly right. The numbers are sharper as you get into November and December. Of course, now we have the bowl games, though, and all that kind of goes out the window because now, once again, it's all about motivation. You can kind of throw the power ratings out if these teams aren't focused, if they don't have the same coaching staff, if they don't have the same key players, which has become, when I started 25 years ago, we never had to worry about guys sitting out if they were healthy. That's something that just started a few years ago. We always worried about, motivation and coaches staying consistent, but now you have to look at the players too and make sure they're going to show up.
It seems like there's been less of that this year. I haven't heard as much about players sitting out. Maybe it doesn't make big news anymore, but it seems like we've heard about less. But is there any kind of a trend towards the G5 playing a P5 or a smaller G5 playing up, if you will, to a maybe a better team out of the American, let's say, or something along those lines? Because that's what I always worry about, is that motivation type thing. I look at Houston playing Auburn, in the Birmingham Bowl. Does Auburn want to play in the Birmingham Bowl? Houston wants to get a win over Auburn because they could say they beat Auburn regardless of what Auburn looks like this year. Is there any kind of trend that way?
Yes, one thing, as a general rule of thumb, you want to play big underdogs in these early bowl games, and you want to look at the overs. Now, with that said, the odds makers have caught on to that the last 5 years or so, and it doesn't work like it did maybe a decade ago. But in general, big dogs and overs work well in these minor mid-December bowl games. And the reason is normally if you have a big point spread, that means one team is much better than the other, and that team probably had bigger aspirations than being a minor bowl game. That also leads to overs. The games are meaningless, so usually that shows a lack of defense, a lot of offense. And also, with the modern pass-happy offenses that all these teams run, less time off means there's more precision in the passing attack. Meanwhile, when you get to the January 1st, the late December, January 1st, the big bowl games, usually there's more meaning there. The teams are excited to be there still. And you have to start to worry about those 2 to 3, 4 week layoffs now, since teams throw the ball so much more than they used to, that some of these precision passing attacks can be affected because of that.
Obviously, we're very focused here on New Year's Eve. I can't for the life of me figure out why the two national semifinal games, the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl, are being played on Friday, New Year's Eve. I don't understand it. I thought if the first falls on a Saturday, which is a natural college football day, why in God's name are they not playing the semifinal games on Saturday afternoon and Saturday night? You got Sunday the next day. It's New Year's Day. People aren't running out to get to a party. I mean, it would seem like the numbers would be infinitely better if they were playing those two national semifinal games on Saturday. I don't get it.
Seems to me like they've done it several times too, haven't they? I mean, I remember a lot of times, these New Year's Eve games or like at 8 o'clock Eastern, on New Year's Eve, and a lot of times at least one of the two was never a good game. And we talked about this the other week. The biggest spread of the entire bowls is one of the national semifinals between two theoretical top 4 teams with Cincinnati in there. So it's kind of a mess. And I see what you're saying with that. I think part of the thing is they don't want to take away from the New Year's Day games, I guess, is the logic. But they would still have an extra 1 or 2 days before the following Monday. But yeah, we've seen them do this a few times, and it seems like they always play them on New Year's Eve. I kind of get the early kickoff maybe at 4 Eastern, but it does seem like the late one gets a little bit lost in the shuffle.
All right, so are you surprised at all that there's been zero line movement in either game? Georgia-Michigan continues to hold at 7.5, 8, which is a big spread as well. There are a number of bowl games that are tighter lines than that. And Alabama-Cincinnati continues to be the biggest point spread of all of bowl season, but it's hovering at 13.5 or so. It's not really moving. Did you expect – and those were the numbers right from the jump just about. Are you surprised at all that they haven't moved?
Not too much, because there's so many bowl games. There's over 40 bowl games. A ton of them start tomorrow. We got 2 on Friday tomorrow. We got a ton of them, like 4 or 5 on Saturday. So the public, for the most part, I don't think is going to jump in early on these games. And obviously we look at sharp money, but the one thing about the bowl games is there is a lot of public money. This is kind of like the NCAA tournament. You're going to get a lot of public money every day. They're going to roll their bets over on a daily basis. So I don't think the average Joe bettor, which makes up a huge market now with 15, 20 states legalizing sports betting, this is going to be the most public action we've ever seen on bowl games. They're a couple weeks away from playing those games. The sharps basically are going to play games early if they think they can get the best of the number, because they don't want to tie their bankroll up for 2 weeks either. It's not like it's a normal week of college football where your money's only tied up for 5 or 6 days and then you can roll it back over. So the key to me is really if these games are going to hit on these key numbers. And we talked about that big spread once again, in the Cincinnati game, and it's been sitting solid on 13.5 since we spoke last week. And obviously 14 is a very key number. So that makes me think maybe there's not a ton of sharp love at 13.5 for Alabama, because obviously if any sharps like Cincinnati, they're going to wait and hope to get 14. And then, of course, you look at the other game. You look at Georgia, Michigan, same situation. It was sitting at 7.5, but there's a lot of 8s out there now. I think anybody that likes Michigan is probably going to grab that early. If you like Georgia, you're probably waiting to see if maybe you can get a 7 by kickoff. I'm not sure we'll come back down that low, but we got a couple weeks to go.
You mentioned more states that are coming on online. January 1st, are we getting, do you know of more states that will kick in automatically January 1st, or that have kicked in now recently? Because we know that they've got it obviously in Tennessee. They got it over in Mississippi. Don't have it yet in Alabama. Alabama will be the last state to get it, probably. I mean, it's just they don't have the lottery, and I don't understand what the delay is. But what can you tell us about that? What do you know about more states coming online?
I think the big news this week was Ohio, and I think they're about a month away. I don't think there's necessarily anything that kicks in at the first of the year per se. A lot of these states legalize it, and then they have to kind of get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and whatever. But the big one that I just saw in the past week or so is Ohio. It looks like they're going to they have legalized it, and I think they're about a month away. Of course, my home state, Virginia, did it a couple years ago. Actually, did it a year ago, and they, of course, legalized it July 1st, became legal. They didn't really push it until then. I think the first 2 books came in like end of January. So it's amazing to me, as you know, Tom, how the states can almost get it right and then get it so wrong. Like, let's wait till the end of the football season, 1 week before the Super Bowl, to legalize sports betting and make it active. So, yeah, I don't think there's any timetable as far as January 1st, but Ohio's the next big one that's going to be on the radar.
I've lost track of what they're doing in Florida. What's happening there? I know it was on, it was off, it's on. What do you know? Can you update us all on Florida?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about Florida is, it's funny, there's a map you can look at online, and right now, as I said, there's about 15 states that have it legal online, and then they have different categories like legal pending. There's a couple of them, 3 actually, Maryland's one of them. But there's only one legal limbo, and that's Florida, which I found a very interesting term, legal limbo, because, of course, they've got to believe, I guess, the Seminole tribe there is trying to push it through. And once again, keep in mind, sports betting is still not legal federally. It's kind of like the marijuana thing. It's a state-by-state thing. And Nevada's been always a grandfathered in. All the states are now doing it because of the Supreme Court decision. But the Indian tribes, have always fallen under the federal law. That's why they've had casinos but not sports betting over the years. And they're trying to push it through kind of backwards in Florida. But it's on the radar there, and I think it'll happen sooner than later.
Steve Merrill with us, Pro Sports Info. All right, yes, a lot of bowl games on Saturday, but a huge game in the NFL on Saturday that is being affected greatly by COVID, and it's the Cleveland Browns against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, this is stunning. The Browns were up to a 6.5 point favorite before they came down with all the COVID infections. No, everybody's fine. Everybody's fine. They don't even know they got it. They get called in. They get, oh, by the way, you have COVID in your body somewhere. They're totally asymptomatic. Nobody's sick. The NFL is going to have to deal with this. They're going to have a problem in the playoffs. This is going to be horrendous. But the Browns have gone from a 6.5 point favorite to a 1.5 point dog. But I have seen a trend going all the way back to Cleveland last year in a playoff game, going to other teams that have had big problems with COVID and other issues or losing a coach or whatever, where these teams seem to, on a one-game basis, like rally. And it's that motto, that Pete Axtell, master of the obvious, the motto, you go the other way. The Raiders are now a 1.5 point favorite at Cleveland. I love the Browns getting a 1.5 with Case Keenum and all the other backups in there. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, a couple things. The look-ahead line a week ago before Cleveland won against Baltimore is going to be 5.5. And as you said, when they opened the actual lines past Sunday night, it was 6.5. I did a show late night Tuesday, and it was 3. We were talking about this situation, and now they're a 1 point dog. So it's a huge move. And by the way, last year in the NBA, as we've talked about, Tom, if you just blindly played those NBA teams like the first night when they were without key players and they moved the line like 7 points sometimes, you hit probably 70% against the spread. And a lot of times you won the game outright. So it wasn't even about the adjusted line value. It's just NBA, that's always been a great angle. It works in hockey as well. These like sports, these daily sports when teams often overlook, the other team steps up. Plus you have a little bit of a matchup edge, because these are all college all-stars still like in the NBA. Football is obviously a little bit different because they play once a week. It's a more physical sport. But as you talked earlier in this segment about how the lines are so sharp now, hard for me to imagine this line really should move 7 points like you just said. So one of the reasons that angle does work is because you're getting adjusted line value. And as you also said, no one's really sick, so it's almost like everything that could possibly go wrong is priced into this line. So if anything goes right for Cleveland now, they're a live home dog here. They're the better team. There is concern what the lineup is going to be, but, yeah, this is a huge line reaction, almost a full 7 points.
They're at home. It's a little bit of a short week, for Vegas to travel. Vegas coming off of getting their knob wailed at the Chiefs. Now, the Titans are a pick 'em at the Steelers. The Steelers, I refer to them to like roaches. Right when you think that finally they're dead, they up and do something. Ben Roethlisberger, he's coming down the stretch here. Had a stinker last week. This is when Ben Roethlisberger will rally the troops and have a great game, and they'll beat the Titans. It's basically a pick now for all intents and purposes. Titans have a great record against the Steelers in Nashville. They don't win in Pittsburgh. For whatever reason, they don't win in Pittsburgh. Still a one-dimensional team. I really like the Steelers in this pick'em game, but what do I know? I'm falling off the cliff lately. What do you think, Steelers and Titans in a pick?
Right, and we talked about, right here on the show last Thursday, we talked about what a critical, Thursday night game that was for the Steelers, and they came up flat. What's interesting to me, though, is the look-ahead line a week ago before the Thursday game, like the previous Tuesday, was going to be Tennessee minus 2.5 in this game. Steelers go out and lose and don't cover. Tennessee goes out and wins 20-0, and now it's picked. So the line actually moved towards Pittsburgh compared to what the look-ahead was a week and a half ago. So a little bit of a contrarian call there. Steelers don't run the ball well at all. It's pure pass, and even that, they're not doing great this year. Their offense is really challenged. Tennessee, though, not a great offensive team either. Both teams right below average offensively. The unders had been hitting on about a 57% clip until this past week. In fact, I think there'd only been 1 week over the past 2 months in which more overs had cashed. Last week, though, we finally saw some overs come in, as is often the case, when it gets too extreme. This line has really dropped, though. The look-ahead line on this was 43, but then I saw some lines as high as 45, 46. Now it's back down to 43.5. Hard not to make the case for the under here, but it's a pretty low total.
And speaking of Thursday, tonight, here you go. We talk about the better team and so on. I'm not 1,000%. The Chiefs are the better team, but the Chargers are a pretty good team. This is a very important game. Division lead is on the line here. The Chiefs are a 2.5-point favorite at the Chargers. Now, it's not about the crowd. It's about the travel, because I think there's going to be a lot of red in the crowd, even though it's a Thursday. So maybe the Chargers will have a little bit of a home field advantage. Maybe not. But you got any feel for what's going to happen tonight in L.A.?
Yeah, the look-ahead line a week and a half ago was going to be 3. That's exactly where it is now. It's sitting on that key number. There's about a 10% chance that an NFL favorite wins by exactly 3 points. So, obviously these lines don't move on or off that key number. I do see a couple 3.5s out there. So my first recommendation would be, if you like Kansas City, you lock up the -3 now. If you like the Chargers, you take +3.5. If you don't have it already, you wait, as it looks like the line is heading that way in more locations. So you take Kansas City now at 3. You wait until near kickoff and maybe get the Chargers +3.5. That on its own gives you an edge whether you're betting either side in that game. That's just a mathematical thing. The total, the look-ahead was about 49 a week ago. Now it's 52. So we have seen some money. What I would say is probably sharp money this week coming in on the over in this game. Kansas City's defense has played better in recent weeks, to say the least. They've held their last 3 opponents to exactly 9 points. Do you think that's ever happened? 3 straight games in which you hold your opponents to 9 points. Held Green Bay to 7. So they've held 9 or less in 4 of their last 5 games. 17 or less in 6 straight. So is Kansas City's defense really gotten that much better? I don't know. They've forced 15 turnovers in those last 6 games, and they've only had 4. They've been +11 in turnovers, and they've won 6 straight. So it's going to come down to the turnover battle. I do think maybe Kansas City becoming a little bit overrated right now after that recent run.
How do they take advantage of you right now? Would be a good time to get in, especially with the big bowl games starting, or with bowl games starting this weekend. How do they get hooked up?
Yeah, it's like the best time of year to be playing. Not only do we have college and pro football, of course, but basketball right now has been fantastic, off to a 64% start in college and pro hoops combined. This is the time to be playing all sports. Go to my website, prosportsinfo.com. You can also find me at wagertalk.com and on WagerTalk TV. And if you'd like to get a free bowl best bet, just mention that you heard this show and email me directly, steve@prosportsinfo.com, for a free bowl best bet this weekend, steve@prosportsinfo.com.
Steve, I appreciate you so much, man. Have a great, great weekend.
Thanks, Tom.
Steve Merrill. It's one of the good ones out there. All right, let's get a break. Phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. When we return, Travis Hunter, he is going off to Jacksonville State, or Jackson State. I always want to say Jacksonville State. He's going off to Jackson State. What's the point? I'll explain next. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Roll Tide.
Alabama is still Alabama.
Tune in New Year's Eve.
Touchdown, Alabama!
It's the Crimson Tide and the Cincinnati Bearcats in the Cotton Bowl, live from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, in the college football playoff semifinal. Our coverage begins at 11:30 on your home for Bama football.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
There are not many things as satisfying as going through an ordering checklist of specific options and features and then taking delivery of your dream truck or SUV. Hey, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we make it easy to custom order your new Ford today and get exactly what you want. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com and see how easy it is. Not only is there no extra cost for the custom order, but you'll get $1,000 off MSRP on top of any additional factory rebates on a 2021 F-150, Explorer, Ranger, Expedition, Escape, and even Edge. With a custom order at Woody Anderson Ford, you get the colors, the features, and the options you want, and you'll be notified when it's built, shipped, and ready for delivery. It's most likely the second largest investment you'll ever make, so why settle? Get your dream car or truck with a custom factory order today and get $1,000 off MSRP. See how at WoodyAndersonFord.com or at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Valley Equipment Rental. Pretty self-explanatory name, no? Thom Abraham here. And look, Valley Equipment Rental is all over the Tennessee Valley. And they rent equipment. All kinds of equipment. And not just to the contractors out there, but to you, the general public as well. Need a skid steer or an excavator? Well, they've got over 40 units to make sure they've got one for you. From huge boom lifts to miscellaneous hand tools, it's at Valley Equipment Rental on the South Parkway. And soon, they'll have a second location to handle even more equipment. More on that to come.
Alabama Crimson Tide Athletics all season long is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, home of the 5-star experience. Bob Wallace Appliance, locally owned and operated since 1978. Brooks & Collier, your indoor and outdoor living headquarters, celebrating 75 years. The Aldridge Law Firm, Wow, Halls RV, and University Kia. Listen to the Crimson Tide Sports Network right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer. The promoter don't mind.
Final segment of the show is brought to you by TOC for all of your orthopedic needs. It's TOC. Get you back at work faster than you possibly thought you could. Get you back on the court. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's TOC Sports. They're the guys that take care of the Huntsville Havoc. They can take care of you. They take care of most every high school as well in the region. So TOC Sports, they do a tremendous job, and they've been a huge part of our community for over 20 years. And once again, this year, TOC Sports, along with the Huntsville Hospital, will help us bring you the Huntsville City Classic, and we really appreciate them being involved in that as always. All right, phone lines are open. If you want to jump in, you can do that now. Of course, your phone number is 256-576-4977. All right, I want to go down this rat hole a little bit here. The Travis Hunter story to Jackson State. There's a lot of feel-good about it, historic, it's this, it's that. What it is extremely short-sighted on the part of Deion Sanders and on a young man. It is a disservice to the young man, to be quite honest with you. Because I'm not sure what the point is, regardless of the potential NIL money. And there has been a report that there was $1.5 million worth of Barstool money in NIL. That was refuted. We don't know what NIL money that might be there as well. We just don't know. But there are two classes of players who come out of HBCUs to achieve NFL greatness. Those that were denied opportunities in the past. I'm talking about the Jerry Rices and the Walter Paytons and the John Stallworth and the Doug Williams, maybe the Richard Dent, those kind of guys that are from way back in the day. Way back in the day. And then there's the other kind of player, which is a more recent player, Robert Mathis from Alabama A&M, Aeneas Williams, and Michael Strahan, those kind of guys, who were not highly recruited coming out of high school, were not thought of much coming out of high school, and this was their option of where they were going to go. And then they blossomed as a college player. They weren't the number one recruit in the country. They weren't considered to be a top 300 recruit. They weren't a top 1,000 recruit in the country. They were guys that went to a smaller school, whether it's HBCU or an FCS school, Division I AA school, and then blossomed. So we know that there are a number of players that have come out of 1AA. I mean, Carson Wentz and Trey Lance, and the list goes on and on of guys that have come out of these smaller schools to have wonderful careers in the NFL. They didn't go there because they wanted to go there. They didn't say, oh, hey, I could go to Florida State or Alabama or Auburn or Georgia. But you know what? I think I'll go to Alabama A&M instead. So this kid, through the dynamic personality of Deion Sanders, and more on him in a moment, is convinced to go to Jackson State. Jackson State. To play low FCS football in the SWAC. What's the point? What's the point anymore? What's the point of the whole HBCU thing? Yeah, these were historically black colleges. They're predominantly in the South. Why? Because the opportunities weren't there for African-American athlete or students to go to these southern schools. That's not there anymore. Now they're just great colleges. It's a fine college. My daughter has her master's degree from Alabama A&M. Great school. I mean, now it's just a matter of there being schools. I mean, just think about this for a moment. 10 of the last 12 Heisman Trophy winners have been quarterbacks. 10 of the last 12 Heisman Trophy winners have been quarterbacks. 6 of those quarterbacks were black and 4 were white. In other words, it doesn't matter anymore. 6 were black and 4 was white. Grizz, have you ever heard of Ryan Stanley? Do you know who Ryan Stanley is? Does that name ring a bell to you at all?
Not really.
Okay. Ryan Stanley was the best HBCU quarterback in the country 2 years ago from Florida A&M, the Rattlers.
Love that.
Ryan,
love that logo.
Stanley, good logo. Ryan, bad colors. Look like
Yeah,
Christmas.
bad colors. Yeah, bad colors.
Orange and green or whatever. Ryan Stanley. Grizz, I'll give you 30 seconds to type Ryan Stanley into one of your machines there.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah. White is the driven snow. So the best HBCU quarterback was a white dude, and 6 of the last 10 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks were black dudes. My point is, what is the point of this kid going to HBCU school? Jackson State has 3 commitments. 3. This kid is going to be practicing against kids that couldn't hold his jock. He's going to be competing on a weekly basis against kids that don't belong on the same field with him. What is the point?
For the kid, you do you go make that money, I guess, right? I mean, for the kid.
What money? No, there's no point. He can make the. You don't think this kid could get the same money if he were to go to Florida State or Georgia?
He probably would.
Of course, he would get. It is not about NIL money. This is about Deion Sanders' ego. This is about him convincing a kid and his parents that, you know what, come here and change the world. You're not changing the world.
Him saying all that stuff earlier, right before talking ball. I mean, just kind of denying, not paying, and not basically it's just like, come on, man. It's like we know how you got him there. Like, you don't have to lie to everybody that like how you got the kid there. Like, we know how you got the kid there.
Let me tell you something too. About Deion.
Be a barstool athlete, basically.
Yeah.
God,
well, that's not true. It turns out that's not true.
I know, but I've seen other, and I do quotations, other barstool athletes, and it's because of their TikTok following.
Well, let me tell you this, too. All right? I don't care about TikTok. I don't care about this kid wants to test himself against the best players in the country.
No, yeah.
He's not going to have them in practice. He's going to have a bunch of stumblebums that can't play nowhere near like him in practice. And then he's going to play games against a bunch of – and you know what? From an evaluation standpoint, who knows? And we might even kind of forget about him a little bit because he's going to be playing at Jackson State while we're all watching SEC and Big Ten games. This kid is going to be playing at Jackson State, and that's where you'll see him. So having said all of that, on Deion Sanders, let me just say this. I don't know, this wasn't the intended consequence, but you remember when Deion Sanders called out the media at the SWAC media days
Yes, Coach.
for not calling him coach. Like, you wouldn't say that to Nick Saban. What happened after that? He ended up on the Aflac commercial with Nick Saban. And you know what that did? That series of commercials that Deion Sanders did with Nick Saban legitimized Deion Sanders as a coach. That's the unintended consequence. That legitimized him like he was on some level. Coach Prime and Coach Saban. Just telling you. That gave Deion Sanders a lot of extra juice. All right, Chuck Oliver is next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
Ho, ho, ho! Bob Baumhauer here, and